kind of going along on the way and haven't got too far, there are things we can do ourselves each day. We can begin to quiet the prominent causes of confusion. There is no meditation based upon some esoteric exercise that can ever work if the individual has not accomplished a transformation within himself. This was the highest phase of alchemy. Alchemy was to make gold out of base metals, and spiritual alchemy was to discover the eternal gold of reality in all things, which can be released and brought into manifestation by art. And art in this case is the beauty. It is the skill. It is the wonder by which we do what is right because it is right. This type of thing is something that has come down to us for a long, long time, and it will continue to come down to us until we obey it. We must find the only answer that there is, and that is the utopian answer, that the human being must live the fullness of humanity, of his own endowment. He must manifest all the manifestations of the condition of the level of life upon which he exists. And having done this, he may then request very quietly, or may not even have to request, because realities perpetuate themselves. We expect to go on to the next level of understanding and insight. We are held behind by the ballast of our own mistakes. And until we are able to master those and to redeem them or restore the integrities in them, we will remain in trouble. So the first thing to do, if you're really anxious to get on to the discipleship principle in nature, is to start in and prove worthiness. Prove as the ancients did in the initiation tests. When a disciple wanted to enter into the mysteries of Eleusis in Greece, the first thing that was done was that his community was invited. The diakon, the leader of the community, was invited to tell what they thought of this young person, whether he was a good person, whether he was a good son or a daughter, because women were initiated. But was this person a good, worthy, honorable person? And if the city father said yes, and that he had never been in trouble, that he'd always been a good member of the community, that was a good mark for the person. If he had been troublesome, he would never have been admitted any further. Then, if that was true, they then went to his teacher. Where did this young person study, and what did he study? So they found the master, an old sophist of some kind, who had instructed him. And they said, was he a good student? Yes. Was he quick-minded and able to understand? Yes. What did he give him to study? Mathematics, astronomy, and music. And that is correct. Then they would probably call the boy to be given the examinations at the temple itself. And if he passed these successfully, he was placed on a 5-year probationship, in which it was assumed that he would take the hope of going on as the basis of a great improvement in himself. He was to go back to his ordinary life and do those things which he believed would be sanctioned, justified, and approved by the temple. He had to be virtuous and pure and clean and healthy all through this 5-year period. He must have no trace of egotism. He must not look down on others who had been rejected. He must simply live a clean, natural, honorable life, serving his family, keeping the rules of the community, and developing his own inner life. At the end of that time, he was put into the tests. And these tests were very severe on many occasions. But they were tests of every courage that the individual had. And every opportunity was given to be corrupted or to be sidetracked. But if he succeeded and lived on and was able to pass the final test, he was brought forth on the porch of the temple and crowned with the laurel wreath and declared to be an official and recognized member of the religious group. This then became something that was so important that in the presence of an initiate of the mysteries, even the king of the country could not remain seated. The divine instruction took precedence over all material honors. And the initiation was more important than to win a great military victory or to attain to be an archon of the state or to become a leader in any external affair. He might win the Olympic Games 10 times, but it was not nearly as much of an honor as to have the wreath of the initiate placed upon him. From that time, he was bound by oaths greater than himself that he would never corrupt, never compromise, never in any way abuse, and never falsely reveal to the unworthy the instruction he had received, and would never use that instruction for personal physical gain. Now, those were pretty rough instructions, but at the same time, they are the type of thing that we must all ultimately face. Fortunately, we don't face it all at once. We don't have to do all that is right at one time. But little by little, day by day, we are supposed to discipline our mistakes, gradually gaining control over them, correcting attitudes that are not conducive to common good. And in this way, by a certain regular order of things, come finally to the point where the interior takes complete control of the exterior, and the individual lives from the root of his own reality, that he is now no longer a person. He is now a great soul in a body. He is an illuminate. He has achieved the end that the physical world can bestow. And he has now available to him all the knowledge of his race, all the wisdom of nature around him, and all the love of the deity whom he represents and who brought him forth. So these are the things that open the gates of integrities, and these are the only ways that the gates of wisdom can truly be opened.